In 2010, a study by the University of Barcelona revealed something unusual. People standing inside the Sagrada Familia experienced lower stress levels compared to visitors inside most other large religious buildings. Researchers attributed this effect to light behavior, how sunlight filters through colored glass and changes throughout the day. This reaction wasn't accidental. More than a century earlier, one man designed this structure to speak directly to human emotion, using geometry, nature, and light, rather than words. That man was Antoni Gaudí. What makes this even more remarkable is that Gaudi never lived to see his masterpiece completed. In fact, construction began in 1882 and continues to this day. The Sagrada Familia is not just a church. It is a living experiment in architecture, faith, and patience, rising slowly above Barcelona, stone by stone, generation by generation. To understand the Sagrada Familia, it helps to understand Barcelona in the late 19th century. The city was growing rapidly due to industrialization. Wealth increased, but so did social inequality. Many people feared that modern life was pushing faith into the background. In response, a bookseller named Josep Maria Boccabella proposed building a grand church dedicated to the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. The idea was simple: create a spiritual landmark that would remind people of faith in an increasingly mechanical world. Construction began in 1882 under architect Francisco de Paula del Villar. His design followed traditional Gothic styles, but after only 1 year, Villar resigned. In 1883, a 31-year-old architect with unconventional ideas took over, and nothing would ever be traditional again. Antoni Gaudí did not believe buildings should copy old styles. Instead, he believed architecture should follow the rules of nature. He studied trees, bones, shells, honeycombs, and mountains. To Gaudí, nature was already the perfect engineer. His job was to translate those principles into stone. When Gaudí accepted the Sagrada Familia project, he radically changed the design. Gothic straight lines disappeared. In their place came curves, spirals, and structures that mimicked forests. Columns would branch like trees. Ceilings would resemble canopies. Light would flow as it does through leaves. As years passed, Gaudí devoted himself almost entirely to the basilica. He lived modestly, often sleeping in his workshop. He once said that his client was not in a hurry, because his client was God. Walking inside the Sagrada Familia feels unlike entering any other church in the world. Instead of heavy stone walls and dark corridors, the interior is filled with light. Tall columns rise and branch outward, just like trees. Their shapes are not decorative, they are structural. Gaudí used hyperboloids and helicoids, complex geometric forms that distribute weight naturally. This allowed the building to support itself without massive buttresses. Sunlight passes through stained glass windows arranged by color temperature. Cool blues and greens fill the eastern side, while warm reds and oranges dominate the west. As the sun moves, the atmosphere inside changes. Morning feels calm and cool. Afternoon becomes warm and dramatic. The building behaves less like a monument and more like a living organism. Gaudí designed the basilica with 3 monumental facades, each telling a different chapter of Christian belief. The Nativity facade, completed during Gaudí's lifetime, celebrates birth and life. It is filled with plants, animals, and joyful figures. Every surface overflows with detail, symbolizing creation itself. The Passion facade, built decades later, is intentionally harsh. Sharp angles and skeletal forms depict suffering and sacrifice. Sculptor Josep Maria Subirachs used minimalist figures to evoke pain rather than beauty. The Glory facade, still under construction, will represent resurrection and eternal life. It is designed to be the most monumental entrance, facing the city directly. Together, the facades form a narrative that begins with life, passes through suffering, and ends with transcendence, carved permanently into stone. When completed, the Sagrada Familia will have 18 towers. 12 represent the apostles, 4 honor the evangelists, One is dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The tallest, rising 172.5 meters, represents Jesus Christ. Gaudi deliberately made the central tower slightly shorter than Montjuic Hill. He believed human creation should never surpass God's creation. Each tower is hollow, designed to carry sound. Bells will create layered harmonies across the city. The towers are not symbols of power. They are vertical prayers, rising from the earth toward the sky. Even unfinished, they dominate Barcelona's skyline, reminding the city that some projects are meant to take longer than a lifetime. In 1926, Gaudi was struck by a tram and died days later. At that point, less than a quarter of the basilica was complete. Disaster struck again in 1936 during the Spanish Civil War. Gaudi's workshop was burned. Many original models, drawings, and plans were destroyed. For decades, architects argued over how to continue. Some believed the project should stop. Others insisted Gaudi's vision could still be honored. Using surviving fragments, photographs, and plaster models, teams slowly reconstructed his ideas. Modern technology would later play a crucial role, allowing Gaudi's complex geometry to be understood in ways he could only imagine. Today, the Sagrada Familia is being built using tools Gaudi never had: computer modeling, laser scanning, and 3D printing. Architects translate Gaudi's forms into digital data, allowing precise stone cutting. This has accelerated construction dramatically. Ironically, technology has helped preserve a vision rooted in nature. Every decision still follows Gaudi's principles. Materials, proportions, and geometry are carefully aligned with his philosophy. The result is a rare collaboration across centuries, where modern engineers work side by side with a long-gone architect, guided by his ideas rather than replacing them. While the Sagrada Familia is a Catholic basilica, its impact goes far beyond religion. Visitors from all backgrounds describe similar feelings: calm, awe, humility. Gaudi believed beauty could lead people toward reflection, regardless of belief. His architecture does not demand faith, it invites contemplation. In a fast world obsessed with efficiency, the basilica stands as a counter-statement. It proves that patience still has value. Every stone represents time, intention, and continuity. The Sagrada Familia is not finished because it was never meant to be rushed. The Sagrada Familia is often called unfinished, but that word misses the point. It is not incomplete, it is becoming. Built across generations, shaped by war, faith, mathematics, and imagination, it reflects something deeply human, the desire to create meaning that lasts longer than ourselves. Long after cranes are gone and scaffolding removed, the basilica will still carry the fingerprints of time, not as a monument to one man, but as proof that some dreams are too large for a single lifetime.